everybody, and welcome back to another episode of TECSpertZ. My name is Nick Green. I'm the News and Sports Director with WZMB.
I'm Cannon Gates, the station manager at WZMB.
I'm Caleb Johnson, reporter for the East Carolinian.
And unfortunately, we're missing our good buddy Garrett Skillman today, but we're hoping to have him back next week. He is trapped in Nashville, Tennessee. You lucky dog.
That's the Green's dream.
I'm kidding. It's a very unfortunate situation with your car breaking down. But, you know, at the end of the day, Nashville, if you're going to be stranded, that is a great place to be stranded at. But we should hopefully have him back next week to talk to you a little bit more. But at this very moment, we do not have him. But let's go ahead and get right on into this, fellas. We got a lot to talk about with women's basketball and men's basketball finishing up and a 5-0 week in baseball. Let's start off with women's basketball. In the American Conference Tournament, we beat Memphis 64-45 and then lost to North Texas in the very next round, 69-58. Gentlemen, what are our thoughts on this?
Well, I mean, Amaya Joyner, great as always, as she has been to end the year. Let me see her stats. 21 points, 11 rebounds versus Memphis, and 18 points, 13 rebounds against North Texas. I mean, Memphis, we all expected us to win that game. They're one of the worst teams in the conference. North Texas, probably none of us expected to win that game. So, I mean, about what we expected out of the women in the tournament. It was great to see them get a win. Obviously not the season that we were looking for, but based on how the regular season went, it kind of tracked the way it was supposed to. Devin Hagman, Jayla Herb, Kaya Miller, all of them had great games in both outings, all double-digit outings for them. Yeah, I mean, solid season for the ladies. Wish they could have shook things up more, but when you run into one of the conference giants like that, it's kind of hard to pull away.
Honestly, tournament, I could have gave two craps about. Just because, I didn't think, like you said, we all kind of knew we're probably going to beat Memphis and more than likely lose North Texas. Yeah. Now, obviously, we've seen the magic happen the last couple of years with the Lady Pirates, but I didn't have nearly as high hopes this year because you didn't have a stud like Danae McNeil out there. I'm more interested now. I was already more interested in next season. I think I'm honestly more interested in next season for about a month now. Yeah. But I'm interested to see who we're going to bring in and how we're going to keep our girls around. Obviously, you're going to bring Amaya back. I don't think Amaya would leave strictly just because she's from Farmville. She's right down the road from home, and she's playing for her hometown crowd pretty much. I would be shocked if she left. If she did, I don't know what we would do because she's the only one who's a consistent bucket getter on the team. But keeping around girls like Hagman and Hurt, making sure they stick around, and just bringing in just better players. I mean, that's really all it is. Transfers, I think we just need to bring in quality transfers because the transfers we brought in really did not play outside of Hutton. It was her, Ware, and Ware played a little bit, I guess, towards the end, but still. I mean, Hageman is a newcomer, and congrats to her for making freshman first team, but I hope she'll stick around because I think she could be very, very good for us. I'm already more kind of looking towards the next season to see kind of what happens, who we bring in, and if anybody enters the portal or not.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm right there with you. I think I am happy we did get a win against Memphis this time around because, unfortunately, earlier this season we did not get that win against Memphis. And so I'm not going to lie, going into the first weekend against Memphis, I was you got to be kidding me. We're going to do it again, aren't we? But thankfully, the March for women's is a completely different team, or so I thought, because North Texas is exactly how we expected. I'm kind of right there with you. I know we've had the March women's, the women's March Madness excuse me, sorry.
Words up,
yeah, I know. I keep messing up. Our women's team in March has been a completely different team. Has had a bunch of magic there. So I think if we would have gotten through North Texas, I really would have started paying attention. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I was kind of right there with you. I didn't have a lot of faith going into North Texas. I was like, if we win, I'd love to see it, but I'm not super optimistic about it. It's kind of exactly the result we were expecting with that. North Texas was the better team, and it showed on all aspects of the floor. They had better players, it was just all around just a better game by North Texas, and that's just all entirely credit to them for that. I'm with you. I'm looking forward to next season, seeing what we can do there. That was actually going to be my next question: is what would you guys like to see in what do you think we did well, and what do you think we really need to improve upon next season in order to be a better, more complete team?
Yeah, I mean, we need to add another scorer next to Amaya Joyner because, towards the end of the year, she was really getting it done for us, getting it done efficiently and also on the glass. But if you can add that second threat to the equation, I think this team can get a lot better. And maybe that player is, Devin Hagman, Jayla Hurt, sitting right on our team right now, that can go out and make those strides to be that number 2 option next to Amaya. But it's also just adding the right pieces in the portal. I don't know how many players we're losing off the top of my head.
It's a few.
Yeah.
Boy, I know Hutton and the twins are both gone at least.
So we're gonna need a big.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
And that's a top priority. Just improving the roster and getting that number 2 option is going to be huge for the Pirates down the stretch.
Yeah, like you said, and the thing is, we talked about Jayla Hurd at the beginning of this year. We were like, she is going to be our second option and be able to do things right beside Maya, be able to kick it out to her, let her maybe fill the Nathan McNeil release somewhat. Obviously, we talked about no one's going to be able to do that, but at least fill it a little bit. And she was kind of just iffy, streaky a lot, and to be our second consistent threat, you just can't be like that. If you're the third, maybe you can do that, but the second threat, you got to be able to put the ball in the hole when we need you to.
Yeah.
But I'm right there with Caleb. We need a big. We need a big really bad. Joyner is not a center. She's really just a big could play the small ball 3 even, or big 3 if she needed to. Yeah. But she's a 4. We need a center. That's really all. Yeah. A center and someone who can make a dang 3.
Yes.
Someone who can make a 3. Yeah, and free throws. Just a shooter in general. They can literally do nothing else, but if we can find someone who literally can run around screens that are set by that big, and just let them pull it, I would love that. It's just, I should be able to find it. Maybe they are sitting on our bench, but right now it doesn't look like it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I completely agree with that. And I would love to see maybe the development of Devin Hagman to turn into that. I think we saw flashes of that this year from her. I think if we can keep her around and develop that a little bit more, I think we could see that on Devin Hagman. But truthfully, I think she might be the only one who I see that potential with a little bit. But I will say I completely agree. I think we need another shooter, and then another big losing Zane Hutton would also be really big too. No pun intended with that. But at the same time, what were you about to say?
I just don't want it to be Hagman, is all I was going to say.
Okay.
Not because I like Hagman a lot. I just would much rather have her be the person who sets up our offense, gets to the lane when we need her to.
For sure.
Knock down a couple threes for sure, but I'd rather have someone else be that.
A solidified 2 guard.
Yeah.
You are going to shoot the ball when you touch the ball,
sure.
Like that kind of.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure. I just said I saw the potential with Hagman.
There for sure is the potential.
Potential.
I just think we can't have her be that person and then have another point guard just because that's way too small.
No, absolutely. No, I agree with that. But I will also say with that, I think that's honestly kind of all we just need help offensively. Defensively, I've been very impressed with this team defensively. Overall, we had a bunch of turnovers. Unfortunately, we had just as many that we caused that we had ourselves, as many as we had forced turnovers. So it's unfortunately that was the big problem there that we had. But I think defensively, I actually really like this team this year, and we only struggled against really the top teams in the conference defensively. That's it. And that's kind of just to be expected with the talent gap that we have there. So I think this is more of a learning year for women's basketball here. I think next year, like I said, we'll see what happens in the offseason, but I think we could be looking for something a lot better next year.
Absolutely.
Segueing a little bit into men's basketball, we unfortunately did not go to March Madness. We will not be shaving our heads. Yeah. We will not be doing blonde hair for you guys because, we got out second round, depending on how you look at it, second, third round, depending on how you want to see the American tournament here. With our first win against UTSA, another very close game against UTSA. I actually good this time, thank you. Very close game against UTSA, and then we lost to UAB in the second, third round, depending on how you look at the American tournament. We lost to UAB in that. Gentlemen, what were your thoughts on the men's tournament run and how that kind of unfolded?
It was very chalky. Okay. I think the tournament in general is very chalky. And that's honestly I'd say this whole NCAA. A lot of the conference tournaments were very, very chalky this year for the most part, especially the bigger conferences. But yeah, I kind of just went down, I think how people kind of expected it to. Beat UTSA and then UAB beat us. And I didn't say necessarily we played bad against UAB. Mm-hmm. We didn't play the best, but Jackson Wennerberg had one of the better performances you're going to see out there.
Oh, yeah.
I believe it was 30, 28, and 5 with 0 turnovers and 4 blocks maybe?
Yeah, 4 steals.
Or 4 steals.
5 steals, 4 blocks.
Yeah. Along
Ridiculous.
with because it was 5 assists and 8 rebounds, or 8
8 assists, 20 rebounds,
20
30
rebounds.
points.
Yeah, and he was like one steal away from 5-by-5 game. But yeah, crazy. One of the
no
better
turnovers,
performances. Yeah,
too.
one of the better
Like,
performances you're gonna see. So you just, when you got that, I think they saw how we beat him last time and it was like we need to get him involved more. And that's exactly what they did. And he dropped 30 and 20 on our heads, and that's exactly why we lost the game. Just because I love CJ, but there's no way for CJ was gonna be able to guard Little Borg. I mean, that guy is just a stud. I would not. I know he has another year of eligibility. I would not be surprised if he were to go to the draft this year. I think if they would have made the tournament, I think he for sure would be going to the draft.
Oh, yeah.
Because it'd be maybe a trendy upset pick in the tournament. But yeah, no, I mean it's kind of all you kind of expected to happen. We played all right against them. They kind of just took it away at the in like the middle of the second half. I mean, we played fine. We shot fine. Nothing crazy. We made like 10 threes, and that's what That's what Schwartz has been talking about all year long. We make 10 threes, we probably can win the ball game. But whenever UAB puts up 94 and Little Borg puts up 30, it's just not much you can have success with there.
Yeah. I'm pretty much right there with you. I mean, UTSA, we kind of all expected to win that game, even though we played them both close both times in the regular season. Jordan Riley, huge in that game, 22 points, 12 rebounds, 3 steals. Felton and Hayes Felton had 17, Hayes had 16. Did a decent job Millender and Spears combined for like 43 points or something like that. But yeah, a decent win. We expected to win that game after how the regular season went. It was really won at the free throw line and on the glass. UAB, unfortunately, we lost that game. I thought we played great. Like Cannon said, we hit 10 threes, which has kind of been what we've all been preaching about along with the coaching staff for the team, that is kind of the point that we want to hit to win the game. But yeah, you just can't contain Yaxel Lindenborg. He is going to be a NBA draft pick at some point and will probably have a great career. And I hope so for the betterment of the conference, but that guy is just a stud. RJ Felton, 31 points in his last game as a Pirate. That was awesome to see. I know all of us are just in awe of him and how he's carried himself throughout his tenure here and what he's done for this team and this organization. It's just it was a great year for Pirate basketball. I mean, this is the most conference wins we've had in the American. The first time
double digits since 1975.
Yeah, like this is a historic year for us, and I mean we're losing a lot of guys, so that is going to be something to look out for. How you go about replacing the RJ Feltons and Cam Hayes and CJ Walkers of the world. That'll be very interesting on Mike Schwartz for this offseason.
Losing a lot of production.
Yeah,
a lot of production.
But great season nonetheless. I mean, it was exciting to watch this team all year long. Mike Schwartz, hats off to you. You coached your tail off all year long. Just congratulations to those guys.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Hats off to Mike Schwartz for sure. I know we gave him some crap earlier this year, and I do, once again, still apologize for my comments earlier this year that I made because you proved me wrong. Yeah. Oh, he doesn't apologize. I apologize.
No, I didn't give him crap.
We both did.
Oh.
We both did.
Yeah, we gave him
my exact quote was, he could be the second Mike that gets fired this year.
Yeah, so my bad, Mike Schwartz. I gave you some, and you proved me wrong, and I'm happy you did. Because this was a historic basketball season for us, and it wasn't even like, for a lot of schools, this is not like the greatest basketball season you would think of. When you think of historic basketball season, this team won the American, this team. No, we really didn't. We had the same technically tournament turnout that we had last year, but at the same time, it just felt different. We had more regular season success. The whole city came around this team, and it just was really nice to see in Greenville, North Carolina. It was great to see the community and really turn that we could be a basketball school here. You're right, Mike Schwartz, he's got a big task ahead of us, replacing CJ Walker and RJ Felton, who are two of our biggest scorers. Both made first team all conference this year. That's going to be tough to replace, no doubt about it. Yep. At the same time, I last year I made a similar comment of when we lost all the production we had last year, except RJ, of how are you going to replace that? And granted, we still had Cam Hayes and RJ Felton, who still were key contributors here, but that's it. Everybody else he brought in was new pretty much. I mean, Sierra Malonga's not, but everybody else was pretty much new. So he's done it before. I'm interested to see what happens this offseason. Hopefully, with the success of the season, we're able to maintain players hopefully Jordan Riley sticks around. We'll see what happens there. But at the same time, we'll see what happens. I was pretty impressed overall. I mean, UTSA, we played them close again. That's no surprise there. ECU and UTSA in men's basketball this year, we were just neck and neck every game and came down to the last minute again. UAB, I like you guys said, I don't think we played that bad. They just played better. I mean, UAB was ready to play. Yep. And, I mean, they almost won the American tournament at the end of the day. So, I mean, it really is just a huge testament to UAB and the team they are, the fact they were able to come out and do that. And I'm happy for them. I put R.J. Felton in the ECU men's basketball Hall of Fame at this point. I mean, that was...
I mean, he might be the best player ever in our history.
He's the best modern era guy.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
This century.
No doubt about it. And then the fact that he had all these opportunities to leave and never chose to do it, I think that just is a true testament to just who he is and how much this program means to him. And I think the least we can do is just honor him in that way. So obviously, I mean, I think that's a great. I hope we end up doing something special for him because he absolutely deserves it.
Put 3 in the rafters.
Absolutely,
please put 3 in the rafters.
Absolutely, we'd love to see that. But yeah, that's all we got for.
Well, I have one thing to say.
Go ahead.
I think Sierra Malonga is going to the portal.
I wouldn't be surprised.
It would probably.
There's no reason for him to stick around strictly because you're only losing 3 dudes who had a lot of production this year, but none of them played your position. Yeah. CJ was technically the 5. But when you had Reed Kaysen even getting minutes over you, he played Malonga played a couple minutes in the last couple games of the year, but they weren't really much anything. He had maybe get a bucket or 2 and a couple rebounds, but I think he's gone. Strictly also because of the system Schwartz is playing. A true big man like Malonga is not exactly what he's looking for.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think he's gone.
Yeah.
I really do.
I do too.
I agree now that you're saying that.
I do too, but we'll see what ends up happening in the offseason. Hopefully we can retain some key players and add some additions in the transfer portal and just in incoming students.
Find me a point guard.
Yeah.
Find me a point guard.
I think it could be Tybo Bailey.
He did play some.
He played very well too.
Yeah.
And he's in terms of experience at previous levels, I mean, his high school career, he played at Oak Hill, transferred, went to another bigger high school, played on the EYBL circuit. I mean, he has all the intangibles to be good. So that would be awesome to see.
And then Boogie Felton.
Let's see it.
And you'll get, I guess he's been injured a lot. Samaro back, Julian Samaro.
True.
And he'll be back.
I forgot about him.
Him and Tybo will probably compete unless we bring someone in. They'll compete for the point guard spot.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens there. Hopefully we can even though we're losing some guys, hopefully next year in basketball, we can still carry on the success from this year. And
gentlemen, the last thing I'll say.
Go ahead.
Last thing, sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good.
I just think that at the end of the day, like we were saying, congratulating Schwartz and all the players on this season. I think that through R.J. Felton, this team has built a culture that is going to attract outside recruits, whether that be from high school, whether that be in the portal. So I think that this offseason could be rather exciting for Pirate basketball.
Yeah, absolutely. One can definitely hope for sure. But speaking of successes of our sports teams, let's talk about one of the most recent successes. Going 5-0 in a five-day week in baseball this week. 2 wins against VCU, and then a sweep of William and Mary. 3 of the 5 games ending in run rules by the Pirates, which is a lot of offense, which is something we're not used to seeing yet this season. Gentlemen, what stood out to you guys in these 5 games? What did you like to see?
Man, but we were sitting here the first couple weeks of the season. We were like just praying that the bats got hot. And I mean, we obviously are playing. We played 2 subpar opponents to our quality or standard, whatever you want to call it. But I mean, it's great to see the guys mash whenever they do. Big John, Colby Wallace,
Big John,
Dixon Williams, Braden Burris.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, I mean, the guys are just coming out of the woodworks right now. It was also really awesome to see the Parker Bird stuff this week, too. That was inspirational, obviously. Yeah, I mean, there's not enough good things that we can say. I mean, the pitching's been staying the course for the most part. Sean Jenkins been a little bit rocky. But, yeah, man, I'm just excited to get into conference play and see how this team shakes out. It's because we've got the guys. They're settled in. Let's see what happens.
Sure. Real quick, Norby, second consecutive American Pitcher of the Week. Second in a row.
You got it again this week?
Got it again. I just saw it. Yeah. Got it again. I mean, I'm glad we did really well, but it's like Caleb said, we played some not so great opponents. On VCU, I expected when we came in, I was like going to be like, oh, this is going to be kind of a dogfight. VCU's usually very solid, and the fact that like they scored like 4 runs over the two days, I was very surprised in that.
Granted, I didn't realize how bad their record was until I was watching the game.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, they're actually not doing that.
Yeah, and they were kind of throwing the ball. They weren't.
Yeah.
It wasn't very good. But I expected a lot more just because they've been good in the past and gave us fits in those midweek games in the past. But yeah, I mean, pitching was fine, hitting was good. It's not much to say because it's kind of like after Coastal was kind of like there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Same thing with the Clark Club Classic. After these, it's kind of like you did good, keep doing good.
Yeah.
We got UNCW tomorrow. We're recording this Monday, March 17th. We got UNCW in Fayetteville tomorrow. I know I'm going to be stressing about that because there's no way I'll be able to see it besides listening on the radio.
Yep.
Yeah.
And yeah, UNCW's they're always good. They've been good this year too, from what I've seen, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this team stay the course because like right now it's just like it's like I said, we didn't play that good of opponents, so it's kind of hard to highlight all these successes when it's like everything could flip in a week. It really could, and that's just how baseball is. That's how sports is for the most part.
Yeah.
Especially baseball though. I'll just give big congrats to John Collins and Brandon Burris because Burris is even more because he did so good. I mean, he's still only a true freshman, and the fact that he was doing all those things though against these subpar opponents gives you a lot more. Like some of the other guys like Dixon and Colby and John Collins even, like they played these bigger opponents already.
Yeah.
They played big time opponents, so these, younger guys should be able to handle those guys fairly well.
Yeah.
So
It's extremely impressive to me that Burris has came in and kind of stole Alex Peltier's spot as the leadoff batter.
And I love him at the leadoff batter.
And yeah,
spot,
me
to be
too.
honest.
I mean, the stats don't lie. Like he is doing everything
Well,
that is asked
honestly,
of him.
what's really crazy to me is just what a flip it's been from Braden Burris, who like a few weeks ago was not in the starting rotation. None of us were complaining that he was not in the starting rotation. And now we're like, whoa, this guy has really turned it around. And Alex Peltier's now batting in the 9th spot. I mean, it's really crazy
I
to
like
think
Peltier in
about.
the 9th spot though.
I
like him in the
I do
leadoff,
too.
but I like him in the 9th spot.
I do too, and it's just really crazy to think about. And honestly, I understand we're playing some subpar opponents here, and it is hard to take this, but at the same time, baseball is a sport all about getting momentum and staying hot at the right time. It's really important to do that. So when you can have a 5 game weeks are never easy on anybody, regardless of who the opponent is.
Yeah.
Having 5 games in 1 week is just tough to do. It's tough on the bullpen. It's not necessarily as tough on hitters, but it's mainly tough on the bullpen, really. Mm-hmm. That's really where you're going to see the struggles at. And honestly, I was pretty proud of the guys for coming out and playing the way we did. 3-run rules is that's pretty impressive despite just because of how the five games in 1 week. That's insanely impressive to me.
Yep.
But you guys are right. Braden Burris, huge shout out to him. I think what he's done this past week was phenomenal. I think he's batting, a 3.75, something like that.
370, 360.
Something along those lines.
Now, obviously, in kind of a smaller sample size than some other guys.
True. But still,
the same batting average on the team with John Collins batting the most. But he also has even less at bats.
John Collins also has less at bats, so the average is going to be a little bit higher there, too. But at the same time, it's still, you love what you're seeing out of this right now, and having Braden Burris in the leadoff spot has been tremendous. One thing that's going to be really interesting to see is when Riley Johnson comes back.
Mm-hmm.
You would think he's going to take Peltier's spot in center field, But do you move Peltier over to Drew Downs' spot?
Yes.
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 Even though Drew Downs is batting over 300?
Drew Downs is not batting over 300.
Yeah, he is.
He's batting 260.
Well, he was batting over 300.
Maybe
Never mind.
you were just wrong.
During the VCU game, he was batting over 300.
Yeah.
I remember because the VCU commentator brought it up a number of times.
Oh, Mr.
Shout out the VCU
Which
commentator.
Downs only has 19 at bats, so it's kind of hard to like Peltier's batting lower than him, but Peltier's had a lot more. Peltier started every single game.
Peltier's been playing every game. Okay.
Peltier actually has the most at bats on the team.
I mean, that's what I would do. I don't disagree. I would do it personally. I was just saying, asking the question of.
I'd for sure move Peltier there.
Okay.
And I don't think there's anybody really who's on the bench right now who's like should be starting over Downs even. Downs has been solid, so I'd keep him there for right now until maybe Riley does come back, and I'd move Peltier to right. Personally, I think Burris, Riley, Peltier. Dangerous defensive combo.
100, and especially with how the infield's been playing too.
Yeah,
I mean,
Burris,
defensively,
that dive he had,
Yeah.
that defense will be. Yeah.
Braden Burris just all around was a really good player this weekend. And then talking about our pitchers a little bit too. I mean, we made the switch and we having Lance Williams come in. I'm just a Sunday guy. Yeah. I don't remember if that happened during the Coastal or when that specifically happened. I don't know if we talked about it. Was it VT? You're right, it was VT. So we have talked about that before. My bad. But anyway, having Lance Williams come in, I think I like him at that Sunday spot. And then Sean Jenkins, he's still a 17-year-old freshman. He did have some rough starts these past 2 weeks, but we'll see what happens. Sean Jenkins still has the potential of being a really good baseball player here. Austin Knight and Cliff Godwin are going to be working with him a lot more just to get him just a little bit more rep and more used to this. He's going to get a lot more reps in practice just because of the fact that he did not pitch the duration of what he's normally used to doing or what we expect of. So you'll see him get more reps in practice. Be like, all right, well, because we didn't do this, we're going to work with you now. So it'll be interesting to see what ends up happening with him. But what have you guys seen from the pitchers that you've liked or disliked, per se?
I mean, man, Ethan Young continues to be a stud. I think, I forget which game it was. I think it was against William and Mary the second game or the third game. The third
9
game.
Strikeouts.
10.
10, excuse me.
And he came in after
Lance,
I think it was Lance let up 6 runs. 6
Yeah.
runs. So I mean, hats off to him. He's been balling this year. I think we talk about this every single week, but getting those 2 starters healthy is going to change a lot of things. And this bullpen is going to be even more legit than it has been throughout the opening course of the season. Who can I? Oh, Nick Moran has been balling.
I was going to do it. I was going to bring it up. Yeah,
he's been balling.
Yes, he has been.
I'm glad y'all said something.
I
also had him in
I was going to.
Who else? I don't know. I'm not going to crap on anyone because it's more fun to hype people up, but yeah, I'll go with those 2 guys.
I mean, I'll hype Moran up again just because I have a stats pulled up. Over like guys who have pitched more than, let's say, 7 innings, he has the highest ERA. And that's like 8 guys who pitched over that. His ERA is .93. I know you see he's number 1, but He doesn't count though.
I know.
Colby has, but he has 3 innings pitched.
Yes, and Colby also. Yes, and they only use him in like a little bit.
Shout out Colby.
And he had to save that. We'll take that all day.
Yeah.
But yeah, Nick Moran, Ian White, because Ian White has the most appearances on this pitching staff.
Great show.
Which is kind of like
that's actually kind of surprising.
10 pitching appearances by him. That's close to DiLorenzo, and their ERA is separated by like 4 runs. Which White has pitched less than like a lot of guys have. He's only has 7 innings pitched, but only 3 hits, 7 walks, and that's the whole bullpen. The walks. Yeah. Even Young had 5 walks on that 10 strikeouts. But I mean 7 strikeouts. Like they're at 95 walks already this year, which just can't do that. Can't pitch 95 walks. On guys like that, on any guys. But yeah, pitching staff. Yeah, I would say those 2. I wanted to shout out just because they're guys who don't necessarily get the love as much. Because the thing is, Moran coming in, he was the weekend starter at Liberty last year. He was like their Saturday guy last year. So it wasn't like he's a scrub.
Yeah,
so
right.
Definitely want to shout him out. And then I'm not going to crap on him. But Lance, he had a great appearance against the Coastal.
Mm-hmm.
Like 4 innings pitched, like couple hits, I think 1 earned run maybe. But then William and Mary, 6 earned runs. 6?
Yeah.
You just can't do that.
Yep.
You can't. You run rule both the first and second game, and then the third game.
And the third game, it looked like we had a potential of doing it too because
Yeah.
we started off 7-0. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, here we go again, and then
9-8. That's
Yeah.
you can't be having that. You cannot have that.
Yeah, it was definitely interesting. I will say I did appreciate how fast we came to a start in both the first two games of William and Mary. I mean, 17-0 in the second inning. Holy crap! I mean, that's unreal. I mean, you don't see that in college baseball. You don't see that at all. So I think that was just insane to see that. I hate that Sean Jenkins couldn't go a little bit further in that game because that was a perfect time to get him some more experience, especially with the top of that William and Mary order. I know we give William and Mary some crap for being a subpar opponent. The top of their order was actually really solid, though. It was the rest of them that were not that great. So I thought seeing him against the top of the order was actually a really good matchup for him. And it was just unfortunate that he couldn't string together a bunch of good at-bats, right, or a bunch of good going against some good at-bats. He couldn't string together anything there. He couldn't find the strike zone. It was tough to see.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely there. Last but not least, we've seen Michael Kalinich at DH. We've seen John Collins at DH. We've been swapping them back and forth. What do you guys think we do?
Do I even need to say it? I love Klinich, but John Collins.
It has to be Big John.
Like Big John's killing it.
I'm glad.
And I mean, I like Klinich just because I would hate him if he was on any other team because he's so cocky. They'll like pound in the chest, head up and down, but like it fires me up. It fires me up.
He got his first home run.
And then you saw him when he hit that.
Yeah.
He's bobbing his head up and
He's like,
down.
oh yeah. I was like,
I honestly expected a lot more out of him.
I did too.
Yes.
I was kind of expecting like an Evansville, should look at the dugout and just try,
Yeah,
type deal.
But it's got to be Big John.
It's got to be. No, I agree. Big John has been phenomenal. Like I said, I've texted in this group chat many, many times, but anytime Big John walks up to the plate, he just puts a smile on my face. I love that dude. I mean, it is just great. I'm like, I just get so excited because I'm like, you never know. That pitch might go out of the park. You leave just a good enough pitch, he's sending that thing. It's gone. And if it's either gonna be a strong hit ball or a hard hit ball out of the park, or he's going down swinging. I mean, no matter what, he's going to be swinging that bat, and that's what you can appreciate, too. But let's go ahead and talk about preview what's going on in these next few games, because we got a little bit going on. Tuesday, UNCW and Fayetteville. We're going to have to listen to that on the radio. Shout out 94.3 for doing that. We appreciate that. So we'll listen to that on the radio, UNCW. Then we got starting conference play this weekend against Memphis before playing Duke next Tuesday. Gentlemen, what are we thinking?
Honestly, I haven't done my homework on UNCW.
They're good, I can tell you.
Yeah, I mean they're always good. So be awesome to grab a win. Obviously, last time we played in Fayetteville, we all had a little bit of a heart attack against Gardner-Webb.
Yep, true.
So yeah, would love to win that game. Would be a huge win. Obviously, in-state team. Memphis. They are pretty similar to us record-wise. If
We're 11-8.
Yeah,
And
we're
12-8.
12-8. Yeah, so they're pretty similar record-wise. I think they played a little bit of worse teams throughout their schedule. But I think I can confidently say this, and all three of us will be right there. We expect to pretty much dominate every team.
We should at least sweep Memphis.
Yeah.
We should at least sweep them. I don't know about dominating at least the Sunday game, but I think we should at least sweep them.
Yeah.
I would just say UNCW, if you just look strictly at the schedule, their record, I mean, it doesn't. They're 10-10.
Mm-hmm.
But then you look at it, they've played. Played Georgia. They beat Georgia once.
They beat Georgia.
They played them twice. They beat them once. They lost to Duke. They lost to Coastal. They 2-1 Liberty.
But Liberty's been pretty good.
I was about to say, Liberty's usually solid. Mm-hmm. The Raging Cajuns, Louisiana, who, I don't know, but the Sun Belt is a good baseball conference.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that Louisiana's pretty good. Southern Miss, they went 1-2. Southern Miss is 20th in the country. They lost to UNC, and then they 1-2 against Charlotte. So,
yeah.
I don't know how they lost to Charlotte, but
when you look in the state of North Carolina, the baseball schools in North Carolina, I'm not super confident. Like, going against any of them, it's going to be good competition.
Yeah.
Most schools here in North Carolina,
They're kind of like us, I think, whenever they're like just trying to up their RPI as much as possible. I mean, that's 4 ranked schools I just mentioned. That's 4 ranked schools, along with Liberty, who's very solid, and Louisiana, who I assume is probably pretty solid. And then Memphis, we should win pretty easily.
Is it
honestly,
at home or
it's at home?
Okay.
For bragging rights, I would like for us to go all out against UNCW, because if it goes all as planned, Friday night you should only be using 2, maybe 3 pitchers if everything works out. Because Norby, how well he's pitched recently.
Yeah.
Realistically, so if we have to throw 6, 7 guys, if we have to throw 6, 7 guys out there on tomorrow, I'm happy with it, because I'm like, let's go get the win. I want to win. And I'm not saying go throw your top dudes, but if we got to throw in the 1 inning, throw Beschloss, Brad Shear, and someone else, Colby maybe, I don't know. If we got to, I'll do it. Throw the Kim stick at him, because you don't want to lose to a in-state opponent.
You don't want to lose to an in-state opponent, especially because their RPI is a little bit better because of the fact that they're just a good quality
and they've been
team.
playing these other teams.
Right, so I agree. I think
even beat Georgia.
I would like to see us beat UNCW, especially because we have struggled against our bigger opponents we played earlier on this year.
Yeah.
I think at this point, any big opponent we play, I want to see us win.
Especially going 1-2 against Coastal.
100%, which we could have gone 2-1, but that's
walk-off
besides
homer
the
in the
point.
10th.
That's besides the point. That being said, no, I completely agree with you guys. And then one thing you didn't touch on, but I will for just a second. Got Duke next Tuesday. I would love, after last year, them coming in here and them beating us 4-1, I believe was the final score. We did not play our best ball against Duke last year. I'd love to beat them this year. I'd love to. I mean, Duke, I know people are going to question from last year, like, oh, Duke should have hosted over ECU. Do you have an argument? Sure, you have an argument. At the same time, let's go. Let's just go beat Duke this year. Let's beat Duke. I would rather beat Duke. Well,
Then what, Duke?
I was gonna say Duke or UNCW, and I'm like, you want to beat them both.
UNCW.
I was like, you want to beat them both here.
Duke's a very good team, and
they're an ACC team.
Yeah, so it's kind of like they are supposed to be better than us. They're supposed to when you look at conferences and all that.
Yeah.
True.
UNCW, I think people might compare us a little bit more than us and Duke.
True.
Plus, it's like, now if it's Duke, UNC State, Duke's third no matter what.
Oh, yeah.
State. So it's like,
oh, absolutely.
I think I'd rather be UNCW than Duke.
Okay.
Just because they're all, and UNCW is always a tough out. Always a tough out.
They are. They
Last year
tough,
it was tough, yeah.
Yeah, they play us tough every single time. But we'll see what ends up happening. Do you have any predictions before we end the podcast?
3-0 against Memphis.
Okay.
And give me the dub against UNCW.
Yeah, true.
Give me 4-0 this week.
Let's give us 9 in a row. 9 in a row.
Oh my gosh.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's go up to 16-8. We need that, especially
Let's
going into Duke. We need it. Because realistically, we should not lose based off our schedule. We should not lose more than 15 games this season. When you look at everything, we should not lose more than 15, and we're at 8 right now. You should not lose by, because the only ones that are the ones that are excusable is Duke, and honestly, it's any in-state opponent, which that includes NC State, and I hate NC State. But still, the other ones, you should beat Charlotte, you should beat Rice, you should beat Wichita State's always good. That's like the one conference opponent that's kind of like, all right.
Tulane too.
Yeah. Wichita State, the only reason why I say them is just because they got first place votes this year.
Yeah, so. Wichita State's really good this year too. Wichita State and Tulane are the 2 conference teams I'm concerned about.
Yeah.
But outside of them, I'm not super concerned about our conference. I agree. 4-0. If we're counting the Duke game, give me 5-0. Give me the Pirates all the way. I'm rolling the Pirates all the way, no doubt about it. I love the direction this team is going. I'm hyped up about ECU baseball. We're gonna do this thing. We're gonna take care of business. Give me the Pirates all day, baby.
Let's go.
Let's go.
We'll talk about that next week.
Let's go. Give me the Pirates all day. That's all we got for this week's episode. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this week's episode of TECSpertZ. We'll be back with you guys next week to recap what just happened against Memphis, UNCW, and won't have a recap for Duke, but we'll talk about that a little bit more next week. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll be back next week. Go Pirates.